Hey there, Modern Math Teacher. Welcome to another episode of Poolside PD here on the Modern Math Teachers Podcast. I'm your host, Kristen Moore, and I'm super excited because today we're diving into the hot topic of fitting it all in. Listen, I just received an email from a listener who was asking me, like, Kristen, these are great practices, but how do you put them all together? Can you use them all at once? What do you do? How can I integrate these and not overwhelm me or overwhelm my students? And I loved that question that they were so concerned about the overwhelm because we know that teaching can be overwhelming in and of itself. So I never want to add anything to your list that is going to make you feel more overwhelmed or less in control or any of those things. My goal here is to just be sharing today's top teaching practices with you, letting you know how they're going in my classroom and giving you my hot take on how they might go for yours. So today we are talking all about how to fit it all in, how to piece together when it comes to integrating a variety of these innovative teaching practices, especially some of the ones that we've been covering so far this summer. We know that incorporating new methods can feel completely overwhelming, right? No need to fear. I've got some ideas for you on how to integrate one, two, or multiple of these all at once without feeling overwhelmed. So I'm here to help you balance that out without overwhelming yourself or your students. And as we are getting into that, let's talk about two of the teaching practices that we cover that I think can be used regardless of your current teaching situation. And that is blended instruction and mastery based assessment. Okay. So if we're starting with blended instruction and mastery based assessment, these two are really highly compatible and can be seamlessly integrated, like I said, with any other instructional model. A quick recap on what those are. So, blended instruction. That is going to allow you to combine online and face to face learning, giving students more control over their learning pace. And this flexibility really lets you cater to a diverse set of learning styles and needs and what's happening in your classroom. And that's going to make it easier to personalize instruction. This can be, done in the form of teacher created videos. You could be using supplemental videos and resources you find online, things like Quizlets and Kahoots, like somehow integrating that technology and that face to face, that in person live instruction or activities, blending those together. Okay. And then the other one is mastery based assessment. And so remember, mastery based assessment is going to ensure that our students are really learning and understanding the material before moving on. It gives them that opportunity to promote deep, lasting learning and focusing on mastery rather than traditional grading is going to help build students that solid foundation of knowledge that they need, right? Especially, especially in high school, if they have holes in their learning, I know it, right? And so I've got to help fill in those holes. But mastery based assessment practices give them that stronger foundation. So, just a couple of things to think about. Those two, again, like I said, can be integrated with everything. You can do it, I promise you. Now, two that I think maybe you need a little bit more time to think about and to implement and maybe don't jive for everyone are two of the most impactful things I have seen. And that is the thinking classroom or problem solving tasks and project based learning. Both of these are higher order, big grappling thinking, student solving, problem solving, student, centered approaches that are fantastic. Okay. So those thinking classroom inquiry tasks, project-based learning, they're both really great at promoting that deep thinking, those real-world problem-solving skills, but they work best not at the exact same time. So they need to be, in my opinion, separated from one another. I use both in my classroom, and I will tell you how in a minute. But I don't use them simultaneously, if you see what I'm saying. Okay, so let's remind ourselves about these things. So, thinking classroom or problem solving tasks are designed to spark curiosity and critical thinking through shorter, focused activities of collaborative problem solving. They are really great for diving deep into specific concepts and promoting student led inquiry so that they can make that conceptual understanding before they build their procedural fluency. Love, love, love this. These tasks are really ideal for helping you build a classroom culture of inquiry and collaboration and creative problem solving, where students feel confident exploring new ideas and asking questions. Love these tasks. Okay. On the other hand, Project-based learning units, remember PBL is a duration of time. They offer a comprehensive approach to learning where the students are engaged in extended projects that connect multiple concepts and skills. So PBL naturally embeds opportunities for inquiry and investigation, so there's no need to add in extra thinking tasks. Said what I said, that's what I believe. Doing so might confuse and overwhelm your students, which would make it harder for them to focus on those core objectives of the project. So, love both of these. Both great for collaborative problem solving, creative, well, also problem solving, I guess, critical thinking, fostering that deep sense of inquiry, and connecting these concepts to powerhouse pedagogical moves to be used separately. Just what I'm saying. But we can take those blended and mastery approaches and integrate them with either or both. And this is how I run my classroom, friends. So, like I said, blended instruction, mastery based assessment can be used in combination with any other instructional approach. Traditional teaching, thinking classrooms, project based classrooms, unclassrooms, whatever you got, you can use them. For instance, in a thinking classroom, blended instruction is going to allow you to provide more direct instruction or guided practice problems via those teacher created or curated videos. While mastery based assessment is going to let your students work through those problems at their own pace until they achieve a deep understanding. Okay. And you can facilitate, things like online discussions and providing immediate feedback and using interactive simulations to enhance the learning experience, all through incorporating more of those blended learning components. Now, in a project based classroom, a PBL classroom, we can use blended instruction to offer opportunities for students to research, collaborate, and present their projects in digital forms on top of providing those just in time mini lessons that they need for the skills they are developing. So, again, this blended learning approach, those instructional videos, key and critical in both of these aspects. Mastery based assessment in a PBL classroom is going to ensure that the students are learning the skills that they need in each project milestone. Remember, by breaking that project down into those manageable chunks, which we call milestones, you can assess mastery at each stage, providing timely feedback and support, guiding towards students towards success at the end of the project. Okay. So, my key takeaway for you guys here is that you don't want to overwhelm yourself. You don't want to overwhelm your students. Don't overdo it. It's all about balance. You do not need to do it all at once. Focus on integrating what has spoken and resonated with you, whether that's blended instruction and you just build that into everything else you're doing, or mastery based assessment and you blend that in to whatever you are already currently doing, right? I also want to push you to innovate and try out a thinking classroom unit. Try out a whole unit where you use thinking tasks. Try out a whole unit where you use project based learning. Push yourself a little bit, okay? But don't overdo it. It's all about balance. Don't do it all at once. My goodness, that would be, it's a lot, I promise. Okay. So, if you want to learn more about how to do a modern thinking classroom, so that is the blended mastery based thinking classroom, I want you to go and hit episode 41. If you are more interested in learning about how to have a modern project based classroom, so that is a blended mastery based project based classroom, hit up episode 42. Both of those are called the best of both worlds because honestly, it's the best combination of all the things that I have tried so far in my nearly 15 years in education. And until I find something better, I'm calling those the best of both worlds. All right, guys. So remember, it is all about finding the right balance and pacing yourself, picking something that speaks and resonates to you and your math teaching philosophy and going in on that. Okay. So integrate any or all of these innovative practices gradually, and you'll find that your classroom becomes a vibrant, engaging place for your students to thrive. Okay. Thanks. Ooh, that was a thing. Thanks so much for joining me for Poolside PD today. Stay cool, stay balanced, keep innovating, and as always, until next time, keep it real. Bye, friends.